Maybe. There
And
we go.
then I told him, I said,
Okay.
well, that's your choice. But if it were me, I'd feed the otter.
Is that what I'm supposed to run the thing?
Go.
That was
I don't
very
know
good.
what that
Yeah.
was.
It's okay though.
Feed the otter?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know either.
Okay.
So, my friend,
Mm-hmm.
over
Gene,
26 miles.
people, we just finished the whole engine work series. People
It felt like
just
a marathon.
finished listening to that. And I'm hearing great things, man.
Yeah?
People are like, yeah, it was great every week having a next chapter to listen
Good.
to understand, and that you just don't get that opportunity a lot
No, you
to
don't.
hear about from, the start to kind of the end there.
You don't.
So
Could
that's,
you imagine going to lunch or to coffee with you and then you telling that story? You'd be like, "Oh, guys, shut up."
would
But we
you
put it in a
just
podcast and everybody listens.
please, God, shut up?
No, it's a great tale.
I was going to order a bagel, and now it's time for a steak dinner.
Yeah, whoa.
What the hell?
I'm really
So,
drunk now.
how are you, Gene?
Good, dude.
Yeah,
Nice shirt.
thank you. I wore this for two reasons. One, I bought it.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't give it to you?
Okay, maybe there's three reasons.
Okay.
So for those listening, I'm wearing a Philadelphia Marathon shirt from the marathon. I finished it this weekend. I started on a Saturday, ended up Sunday night. But no,
Right?
just kidding. But the other reason I'm wearing it's, oh man, I have been through so much stuff lately with the idea of social media and community and how we help each other. And the story of this marathon, I think, really kind of puts an interesting frame on everything. So, Gene,
Yo.
if you would be so kind, could we make this episode all about me?
We might as well.
No, 95% ish.
Yeah, 98%.
Did I tell you the story of why I ran this marathon?
No.
Okay, so good. So it'll be exciting for you as well, or dull as shit.
Or something.
Is shit dull? Okay. Um, did you ever see that MythBusters where they did polish a turd?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's so good. Actually,
I love
you
that guy.
can
I
you
love that
can
guy.
polish a turd.
You can. It turns out it's true.
So I set out this year of 2021 with a goal to run 1,500 miles. Right.
That's a lot of miles, man.
That's a lot of miles. I'd never done over 1,200, and I thought, I don't care about races. I don't care about this or that. I just want every day to be able to work on something by myself that I can accomplish.
I dig it.
And so it was like, nobody else can control this but me. Right. I mean, I could get hurt. I could get sick. I could have to do family stuff, but still, even then,
Right.
I'll be able to do this. So it looks like I'm on pace for it, which is awesome. But while I was doing this, I started noticing that a friend of mine, Will Reynolds, was also starting to run a lot, using Strava. And it's interesting because Strava is really a community, right?
Yeah. Oh,
You're watching people work out, you're watching them run, and you're giving them kudos, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, hey, good job, or you leave a comment or whatever.
Yeah. It's a very active community.
Really active. And what's fun is you'll comment on somebody's thing, somebody's run, and then suddenly somebody else who was on there, like, is following you now. And, and that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Like, you say something cool and somebody follows you and this and that. But you can't really bullshit with Strava. I guess you could. You can manually enter stuff.
Or you could get in your car and drive really slow.
You could. You could. I'll be behind you honking going, you got this. You got this. But so anyway, Will and I are doing these runs. And sometimes my runs are like a little bit longer. And I'm seeing he's doing those kind of runs. And we see that our pace is kind of the same. And I just start leaving him messages, on Strava saying, hey, great job. Nice run.
Cool.
And then he left me a message, an email, I said, hey, join this app, Signal, right?
Signal. Okay.
And so Signal is this encrypted app. When I joined, I saw my lawyer and my CFO on it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess we got some private conversations coming. But it's just really kind of a cool app, and it does really good with audio, video, and it also kind of takes it out of the main flow. You're not like in regular text messages flying in or whatever.
Yeah.
So we start talking about like he goes for a run, and after the run, he leaves me a message about how the company's doing and things he's challenged with or what he's trying to figure out. And then I was like, oh, this is cool. So after a run, I would give him some feedback. Hey, maybe this, maybe that. And then I'm
Cool.
struggling with this. And then it became about family. And then it became about personal stuff. And this is over the course of a couple of dozen runs, right? Like we're each running 5 times a week or whatever. So after a few months, we've done this a few times. And Will says, I wish we could run together. And so I
Right.
was like, all right. And so I went and looked at the Philadelphia Marathon. This would have been probably back in August,
Hmm.
maybe even July. And I just sent him a link and I said, all right, it's on you, MFer. And he signed up, sent me his confirmation. I signed up. We
He
agreed.
he doesn't seem like the guy that would mess around.
No, he's not. And you'll hear about that in just a minute.
Nope.
So we agreed we were going to kind of go for a 9:40 pace, which
Mm,
is pretty, for me, that's pretty fast for a marathon,
good. It's
right?
fast for anybody.
And I was like, but I can do this. That pace I can figure out. So I do all this stuff. I get to Philly for the week. Will is doing his sleep out, where he sleeps out on the streets to raise money for
I
homelessness.
saw that. I was like, "You're doing that the night before a marathon?"
He did. It was all week,
Oh,
and
God.
that's something he's been doing for 10 years at least.
Right.
And so he wasn't able to get together. He wasn't able to, and he felt bad. I knew so many other people in Philly, so it was like it
Right.
was fun to get to go see him. It was fun to do all that stuff. Saw some good friends. Saw some people I hadn't seen in a while. But so Will and I are going to meet up that morning of the marathon. Now, the night before, I think maybe around 5 o'clock, like I'd met Brett, who works with the Bureau, and he lives just outside of Philly. And so he came in the city and we went for a walk and got some food and stuff. And one of the things that happens for me anyway, and I think for a lot of people who are getting ready to compete, is that night before you start going, oh, I really screwed this up. Even before you get there, you're like, why did I have a big steak last night?
Oh.
I'm supposed to be carbo loading
Uh,
because big steaks are delicious. That's why I
yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
And then why did I walk 5 miles with Brett? That's probably not a good thing for my legs. And you're like, we saw some great stuff. And I got
Yeah.
my photo with the Rocky statue. Come on.
Right, right.
It was fun. But then Will hits me up at like 6 p.m. I'm sitting there watching the Gators get their eventual loss. I know it's coming. And he goes, hey, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but why don't we get together for a beer?
Hmm.
And I'm like, I've been mostly sober for like 2 months training for this run. In fact, the one goal I have is at the end of this run to find the first beer I can find. I even started saying it, first beer I can find. Tap that vein. Give me that beer. So he's like asking that, and I'm like,
Hmm.
no. I'm like, I love you.
Right, but we'll do this
But
tomorrow.
yeah. And so I'll see you in the morning. So anyway, I said, hey, we get together at 5:30. And he was like, 6. And the thing starts at 7, right? So we're just having this little bit of back and forth. And then he's like, I crashed out at about 9. And then when I wake up, I see he's left a message, 5:45. Like he's thinking about it now. Shit,
Right.
we got to do this.
Yeah.
So that morning, he sends me a note that the last time he ran any distance was a half, and he did an 8:15 pace, and he's thinking we can do a 9:15. So he's like shaving 25 seconds off the pace. That's a sub 4, I'm pretty sure, a
Yeah, it
4-hour
is.
marathon.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and I also know Will in that he is a go getter, like when he decides to do
Mm.
something, right? So we show up, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to go for it. So this, I think, I'm going to make this kind of an analogy about life, Gene. We're going to make this move. If you had some really cool background music, not like the shit you play the intro, but like some really cool stuff. So we get started, and you know what? There's so much energy
Oh,
because
yeah.
This is community. This is the Philadelphia Marathon. It got canceled last year. This year, there must have been 15,000
Yeah.
people. I don't know, man. But there was a young girl, probably like her early 20s, and she opens up her little fanny bag, and she's got like a freaking bagels in there. So she like opens up this runner's bag, and she's like, "Would you like a bagel?" I was like, "I'm not in on the pocket bagel, but I do appreciate the thought." But it's just like everybody's like cheering on, and at one point they said, "We got some special characters here to greet you as you take off. Buddy the Elf is here," and I yelled out, "I know him!" And people start laughing, right? Because it's like this is just everybody's nervous energy, and they're just ready to go, and all this kind of stuff. So then you get through and you get started, and you're really kind of packed up, right? It's like everybody's packed up. You can't really get moving, and then it opens up, and then Will's ready to go.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm just not going to look at my watch. I'm just not going to look. I'm just going to go. We'll see what happens. And then Will, probably like a half mile in, Will looks down at his watch and he kind of smiles. And I go, "Oh man, I don't want to know. I'm just going to." So I just decided I'm not going to look at this. So we keep going. About 3 or 4 miles in, Will looks again. He goes, "Don't look at your watch."
No.
I was like, "Dude, I know what we're doing."
Yeah.
Like, and even as a Florida runner who is used to a lot more humidity and stuff, like I can run better in Philly than I can in Florida because I
Yeah,
train here.
obviously, yeah.
So we're going and it keeps going. And then all of a sudden we come into the first crowd, right? Like there've been people along the way, cheering in this, but now we're coming into a group of we're probably coming up on mile 8 and it's probably coming into a group of a few hundred people. Everything fades away. I don't notice it anymore. I don't think about how fast am I going, what's going on. I just see the people.
Right.
And then I see one of the first cameras that I've noticed. And suddenly I'm like, I'm trying to look on the outside like everything is great. And you know what? It was pretty good. But I thought to myself, I wish there was a camera behind this so you can see how fast people's faces go from this crazy smile to, "Oh my God, what have I done?" To see just the melt of the fake happiness. And I hate to say it like that, but we're trying to capture this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we know somebody's going to take a photo. And that's what social media is, right? It's
Pretty
like,
much.
except we get to take the fucking photo.
Right.
I put it out there. And I've shared this before, Stephen Gates saying that social media is where we compare other people's outsides with our insides. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's not cool. Right. So Will and I keep going. And he sees a friend of his, Adam, super nice guy. I think it was Adam, might have been Andy. Anyway, super nice guy. And he's talking about how he ran a marathon in like 9:05 or something. And these guys start speeding up a little bit, right? Now, here's the thing. Will is about probably 10 years younger than me. Adam, I think his name was Adam, is about probably 5 or 6 years younger than Will. He's worked with Will at the company at Sear for like a decade or 14. I think he said 14 years, right? So they're like pumping each other up and getting going. And then at one moment, just somebody way up ahead yelled, "Let's go." And then I just felt myself do it. I was like, "Let's go." And it's like mile 10 and I'm running faster than I should be running. And I look at my watch and we're doing like an 8:55 pace. And my brain goes, you can't do that. Now, if I hadn't looked, I don't know, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we weren't going to keep that anyway. That wasn't going to, and that was, we were in the crowd. But what was weird was when I did that yell, like everything else went away. I did feel better. I did have that surge of energy. I did feel like I was okay. So we keep going. Around mile 18, I swear to God, I saw a friend of mine who died like 20 years ago. I'm not kidding you. He looked like him, Paul Figueroa. He was my landlord. He looked like him. And he yelled. And the thing is, if you've never run a marathon or half marathon or any of these better organized races, everybody yells out your name because it's on your bib, right?
Gotcha.
It's like, your number and then Carl really big and other stuff. And so this guy that looks like Paul looks at me and goes, "Go get him, Carl." And I'm just like, "Okay, Paul, what the hell was that?" Right?
Like, who's Paul?
So I'm not hallucinating, dude. I'm telling you. And I know it wasn't him, but he and this guy was very unique looking. He freaking looked like him. So now I'm starting to think about you know, this friend of mine who got a brain aneurysm
Mm.
and a blood clot in his brain and was like super happy and doing stuff one day and gone the next,
Mm.
you know, in a forced coma or a whatever you call that. Um, this guy was a guy who was an electrical engineer and decided to become a photographer. And he was horrible for like 4 years. And then he became pretty good. And then the
Mm.
next thing you know, he is doing the coffee table book for West Coast Choppers. Right. And I remember when he came back, I said, "So was that a fun gig?" And he goes, "Come in the studio." He got paid with a chopper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's who he was, right? Like
Right. Right.
he lived life, and he always was like, just don't do something stupid, and make sure it's something you want to do, and all these
Mm.
types of things. So anyway, keep going. Will's hamstring messes with him. Now this was his big concern the whole time, and I heard him go, "Ugh," and I was like, "Are you okay?" You know, part of me is like going, I do not want him to be hurt. First of all, I do not want him to be
Right.
hurt. But if
Right.
this slows him down a little,
Then you're okay with it.
it's got to be better for me because I'm just trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, I am not running my race. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe I can do this.
Mhm.
So the challenge is great. And I'm so glad that Will and I did this, right? And so we go through and then we come down to Main Street and dude, it felt like there were thousands of people. I sped up. I'm high-fiving people on the
Yeah.
sides. I'm like, their dog's barking. We're barking. You know, it's like everything's happening. You never know when when the turn's gonna come because you're heading back, but you see people coming back the other way, and you're like, it can't be much longer.
Right.
All these things are happening. It's super exciting. And then you see another one of those cameras, and I'm just like, I'm gonna smile for this one. And you know, I saw a shot of myself. This is a picture that Will took, or somebody took of Will and me. Will saw the camera. I did not. Will looks amazing. Now, I saw Will when he hurt his hamstring. I saw how he was looking like me. But he saw that camera, man, and he pulled it up, and he's like,
Ah.
and then I'm in the background going, you know, focusing on my breathing, trying not to die, trying not to lose him, to watching him go. Then his friend shows back up. His friend's just kind of running around helping people. He's got gels and water and
Wow.
Gatorade and all that kind of stuff. So he's just kind of, he's not a volunteer, but he just decided to come out that day and help people.
That's
Super
cool.
awesome,
That's
right?
cool.
So he and Will start going again. And Will has that inner energy. That's why his company's so successful. That's all those things,
Right.
right?
Right.
And he's really good at presenting that stuff. And I'm pretty good at it too, right? But at that moment, I'm just like trying not to lose. I'm not losing sight of them. They're only maybe like 2 people, 3 people ahead of me, and it's pretty broad. It's pretty spaced out. So we're going, and then you come to mile 20. You're like, oh, we're almost there. This is a short run for me on a regular week, and you try to figure all this stuff out. And then I saw Paul again, the guy I thought I saw on mile 18. So I must be seeing him now because we've looped back, and he just went on the other side, and he's just smiling at me like in a weird way. And I think it's because I called him Paul. And he's like going, hey, there's that
The guy that
guy.
calls me Paul.
There's the guy that calls me Paul. And I did looked at him and I went, hey, Paul. And he was like, hey,
Not
Carl.
Paul.
And he was like, hey, Carl. And he just went with it, right? And it was just this amazing, weird, bizarro thing. But I think you get towards the end and you're barely going. And I was almost like, there was part of me that was like, you know, I could pass Will. I think he would come right up on me, but I also knew he was starting to have some stomach trouble towards the end. I was having weird. My right arm was really sore, which is this is the thing because like you're doing something
Right.
faster and further.
Right.
So we end up finishing. I had 11 personal records, right? Like, and it was obviously I only did one of the marathons, so it was the fastest marathon I ever did, and it was like right around a 4:06. It's ridiculous, right? And
Pretty fast.
depending on Strava or Garmin, I'm gonna go with Strava because they gave me a few extra seconds.
Whichever one's faster.
It was like a 9:22 pace, and so it's
Wow.
like, yeah, and afterwards, Will, like, we get across, Will puts his arms around me, he goes, "We did it, man. We did it." He didn't say man. He dropped some MFs in there. And and then I'm like, "Yeah, we did." And I see this one volunteer. He goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Keep an eye on me." So I told Will, I was like, "Got to keep walking, got to keep walking."
Yeah.
And so we're doing all that, and it was amazing. But we get to the end of it, and all I can think about is I want a photo to show people that I did this.
Hmm.
Is that right? Is that what I should
Yeah.
be thinking? I mean, we're doing this episode right now, and I'm talking about the thing, right? And I'm wearing the damn shirt,
Yeah.
which you buy before the marathon, by the way.
Right.
All the finisher shirts, you could just go to a bunch of marathons and buy the finisher shirt, right? But I think that the thing, after anything you've done in your life that was a big goal, and it's
Hmm.
over. We've talked about this with post-event
Hmm.
depression for organizers, right? First of all, I felt great. I literally was on a plane about 4 hours after we finished
Whew.
because I wanted to meet my daughter in the Atlanta airport who was coming in from LA and surprise her and,
Hmm.
fly in the rest of the way home and all this kind of stuff. And it was great. There were a couple other people in the airport. I did find that beer. I also found bacon on a stick. Thank you, Philadelphia.
That
That
sounds
was
good.
glorious. The guy, I said, is this bacon on a stick good? He goes, "It's bacon on a stick."
Bacon on a stick, fool.
And I was like, "Yeah, I will gladly take that." He goes, "And I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you an extra one."
Ha!
So he like gave me an extra there.
You have
And
to.
but so I'm talking with people at the airport about because they're flying back to Chicago or heading back to Pittsburgh or doing whatever.
Hmm.
And I just started thinking about it. I saw my daughter, and then I get home. I'm in a really bad mood.
Hmm.
You know, I'm thinking about all these things that I haven't done because I was so focused on this, and now I got to get back to that. It's like my life has changed, and now I got to go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you had that? Like, talk. I was thinking about this with the gym,
Hmm.
right? Like you go through and you do, or with the dojo, where you
Hmm.
go through and you have everybody test for stuff, and then it's
Right.
over. And then do you think, "Oh shit, I didn't change that light bulb"? It can be
Yeah.
something
Oh
as
yeah.
simple as that.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, you're on the other side of it too, so you start thinking like, "Oh, they're gonna quit now." They've achieved. You see, you start overthinking
Yeah.
everything. You start overthinking everything.
So, so we get through this, and I'm looking at all the things that I've put out there on social media
Hmm.
about it, and I'm watching all the things come in. And I'll say this: Strava's a community, right?
Hmm.
It's still social media in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're sharing photos, you're doing that stuff,
Yep.
but it's a community.
Yep.
If I had not finished, if I had for some reason just blinked the thing, I would have probably gotten twice or three times the love. Right?
Hmm.
I got a lot of love. But a community picks you up,
Hmm.
right? They
It
see
hit.
you struggle with something and they fucking want to help you.
Yep.
Right? It could be by sharing an experience. It could be by saying that sucks. It could be by saying, I've got some friends, let me check with them.
Hmm.
But whatever, but you fucking do it. And then social media is where you have to put on that happy face because the one time you said something real, what happened?
Yeah.
Gene, if you go out there and say, worried about my mom
Hmm.
on social media, people send you fucking thoughts and prayers.
Hmm.
They send a shit ton of stuff. And then what happens? You feel bad because now you took the freaking party time, happy angles and
Right.
filters, look at me at the beach,
Right.
and you've turned it into a pity party.
Hmm.
Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
I mean,
All
have
the
you ever
time.
said something real and then suddenly it's like, oh shit?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. You kind of expose yourself a little bit. You open up. You get a little vulnerable, and you worry about it.
On social media,
Hmm.
it doesn't seem to be a good call,
Well,
right?
yeah. I mean, I think it depends on how you use it. But yeah, I think overwhelmingly you're right. I mean, that's not going to come off well because everything else is either advertisement or I mean
Yeah.
that's what you are. You're advertising yourself.
You're advertising your life. You're
Hmm.
like out there doing that. And you know what? That's a choice we all opted into.
Oh yeah, that's the game.
We don't have to do that.
Mm-mm.
We don't have to publish the thing that we did and then thank everybody for all the praise on the thing.
Right.
Like this damn marathon, which was amazing and I loved it. I'm so glad I did it. And now I'm looking for what the next thing is going to be,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
I got to freaking finish this annual goal.
Mhm.
But
You're close.
there's something about genuine happiness versus posing for the camera. And
Right.
it's just I'm really in this moment right now where I don't think people need to cancel their social media. I think we just need to change how we use it. And if the company is a bad company and you don't want to be associated with it, then that's totally something you should do. But the other thing for me right now, I'm so sick of checking in on everything so fucking frequently.
Mhm.
What do
Yeah.
you do when you first get up? Because I actually and I see you as somebody. It's going to be, oh my God, it's being recorded. I think you got your shit together.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm
I
wrong all
don't
the
I
time.
don't fully, yeah.
But when
But,
you get up, like, what is your morning routine? When you first wake up, like, what do you do?
I don't check social media. I don't get my phone
Do you look
until
at your phone though?
no, no, no.
What do
Um,
you do?
I actually, I used to have an actual alarm clock that wasn't a phone
Okay.
until it stopped working. But now I use Apple has, like, the sleep function
Yeah, yeah.
to it's not just an alarm, it's the whole sleep thing. So I use that, turn it off, and I get up, make my coffee, then go start getting ready. Just take my time. I get up, like, 45 minutes before I need to, so I can
Okay.
take my time, check, get my coffee. I don't check social media. Um,
Do you check the weather?
yeah, I do by looking outside. I
See,
literally
that's
open the
what I mean by
door.
you have your shit together.
Well, I
I
have to let the
check the
dog out. The dog gets up with me, and she has to go out, so
right. I check the weather coming into this marathon like I was checking the fucking stock market and all my money was in it.
mhm. I don't like to look at the phone first thing, man, because I feel like I feel like it owns me, and I get very I don't know if I'm probably the opposite of what you're thinking. For me, I think it's
No,
more of
no.
a I'm
You're
I'm more
doing
of like a
what I think. I think you're a fucking role model for
I
this.
don't like to be told what see, it comes from a different place, though. I don't like to be told what to do, so when I feel like the phone's controlling me, I get angry at it.
Yeah. I think that's fair though. And
I don't even like the watch. I've got an Apple Watch, and I haven't worn it in, like, a week because 'cause I'm like, I don't like the fact that the text comes to the watch, and I leave my phone on the other side of the room, and the text follows me around. I hate it.
and I mean, I can't stand it when other people look at their goddamn Apple Watch. If we're together and we're doing
Bro,
something, and I do the same thing though, I'm just as guilty. I'm not calling anybody out. I mean, it's like this is what I do too. But Simon Sinek, when he was on the podcast with us, do you remember him going off on
yeah.
that?
And
Where he said he can't stand it when people look at their phones and tell you there's someplace else I probably would
it's
be having a
gotten
better time.
it's gotten so bad. Yeah, the interpersonal communication, but it's gotten to where people can't even work out without recording it.
I saw
Like
people fucking texting while they were on the marathon.
yeah, and it's not real unless it's being recorded by your watch or whatever, and it's like, "Oh, you can't even come in the gym and lift weights without, like, wearing your watch so you can tell your heart
Are
rate."
we
It's
the old guys in the Muppets? Are we telling people to get off our lawn? Because here's the thing, they at least were at the show and watching it.
though, I I can't help but think that, we might be, but you know what? God damn it, you need to listen to us because I think that you are, hurting your ability to actually enjoy the moment that you're living in, right? Because what other reason do you have to be attached to that device other than you're worrying about the future. You're worrying about what you're going to do with this information in the future. You're worried about how you're going to look in the future. You're worried
Mhm.
about how others are going to interact with you in the future. You're not here right now breathing and enjoying and living and doing the thing that you're doing right now. You're thinking about this device.
And it's not just one device.
Oh, it's
It
connected to the internet.
what? Nobody told me that. Oh my god.
It's
Is that how
crazy.
this works?
Yes.
So, but I mean, for it could be getting on a scale every morning to see what your weight is.
Yeah.
You know, it could be okay. It's pretty much just the phone. That's all I got is the scale, which is also connected to the internet, by the
Yeah.
way, and
Mine is
updates my
too.
phone.
Mine is too. Yeah.
But why did we become so just enthralled with all of these metrics
Well, it's cool
about
as hell.
everything.
It's so
I
cool.
and I know it's super cool. I get that. I
Yeah.
mean, I think I think where I'm at right now is I worry so much. I check all these metrics about the community. I check all these
Mhm.
metrics about the financial side of the bureau to make sure we're
Right.
sustainable. I'm constantly trying to figure out all these things, and I don't fix little shit in my life that would make every day better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the joke about changing the light bulb. There's one
Yeah.
light in the damn in the kitchen over the kitchen island. This little string of lights, and we don't have the right light bulb, and I just got to go get one. I go by the place every day, so fucking fix it, you know. Or the things that constantly are going to need
Yeah.
doing, like
Yeah, yeah.
cleaning the pool or whatever. And these are such privileged fucking things. I said the light in over the kitchen island, for God's sakes,
Mhm.
right? I just I think to me, and this gets to the bureau and it gets to community. Gene, are we going to have a hot take?
I'm gonna have one.
Oh, dude.
Go
Does
no,
this
go
get
for it,
back to
man.
the burning thing you were telling me about earlier? It's
Uh,
never supposed to burn, Gene.
maybe.
Either front or back. Never supposed to burn. So hot take. Social media can be about support.
Mhm.
It can be about support. People saying nice things and saying that you did great and all that. And you know what? And I posted that run in the Runner's World community.
Right.
Um, I don't know that community as well. But I think social media can be about support, but community is about safety. You know, it's like there are things if I'm worried that we're like when the pandemic hit and the bureau lost 70 grand, I wasn't putting that on social media. I wasn't saying, "Hey, everybody, pandemic hit us, lost 70 grand.
Yeah.
Please check out my Kickstarter." Um, no, in the community with some people, I was saying it
Mhm.
because you know what? They weren't going to make a judgment. They were going to fucking help.
Mhm.
They were going to find a way to do something. That's when all those videos came out with people talking about what the bureau meant to them,
Yeah.
right?
That's your community.
That's the community. And so community is, I mean, it gives you that connection. It gives you that belonging. It gives you a chance to help other people.
Mhm.
And does anything feel better than that? Than
Mm-mm.
helping other people? Then,
Mm-mm.
I mean, back to the marathon, there were some people that were like on the side that those last 6 months, like mile 0 to 20 is 20 miles. Mile 20 to 26 is another 20 miles.
Feels like it, I
Like that
imagine.
last 6 miles, oh my God. And you
Yeah.
see people falling out. You know, they were going, and then you see other people that are running by going, you good? You all right? You
You're
see
like,
the
"I don't
medical
know."
staff, you see the community, you see all that kind of stuff. The people who came out just to cheer. Well, there's people who came out to cheer and they came out to volunteer. That's community, right? They're like out there and they see you, even if you're smiling for the camera, they see you. They know who you are. They know when you're struggling. And God damn it, that's community, right?
Yeah. It's
Why are
beautiful.
you laughing at me,
It's
motherfucker?
beautiful.
I dropped it. Oops.
I wasn't the first one.
It wasn't.
Nope.
I mean, it's community not only gives you connections, which are important and help you avoid issues and grow faster and stronger, but they give you a place to hang out where you can relax and not have to keep checking
Yeah.
how you're doing. You can just see how somebody else is doing and help them. And
Yeah.
and to me, I think we've lost that a lot. I don't think we need to cancel social media or any of that shit. I
Right.
think we just need to use it in a more real way. I can't even say authentic because they bastardized that term,
Yeah.
but just be real. Like get out there. I'm not saying share that you lost a loved one, although that's cool if that's what you want to do. I'm just saying go out there and maybe no filters or let's just show the schnoz for what it is for once.
Let the light hit your schnoz.
Oh, Gene, holy
Man,
shit. Sorry
got
about
that
that.
out. That's good, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bringing the thunder today, my friend.
You can't stop the thunderbolt.
No.
You remember
Alright.
that? You remember that?
I don't.
Ready to rumble. You
No.
can't. That was Afro Thunder. You can't stop the thunderbolt. Gene, next week we talk all about you, my friend.
Oh, no. I don't have anything to say.
Yeah,
I'll come
that's
up with
probably
something. I've
probably right
spent a
though.
week with family, so we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll
Ooh,
need some
that'll be
serious
good.
therapy.
That'll be good. All right, brother.
All right, man.
Thanks. Sorry for the MFers, everybody.
Cool.